Hey everyone, and welcome to another installment of Tom's World. In today's video, obviously, we're here in Sarobia Garden. Where else would I be? It's a beautiful day out today. It's President's Day. The temperature is very comfortable. I don't even really need this hoodie, but I don't have a lighter jacket to put on right now, so this is what I have to deal with. But anyway, why we're here in the garden today is I wanted to give an update of possible plans for the future. I've talked with some of the other volunteers and they do have some plans coming up for this coming season. They've already started on it and I can show you what they've done so far. But there's also some bad news when it comes to the history of Sarobia. Another piece of it is gone now, and we'll discuss that at the end of the video. So here we are in my my little sanctuary, as I like to call it. I haven't really been coming here all that much this past winter. I've just been a little busy in my life, and well, you don't care about any of that. Let's not talk about that. Anyway, so some of the future plans that they have is all these little brick paths. You see a lot of dips and a lot of raises from the root systems growing underneath. They would like to, by they I mean the other volunteers, would like to be able to try to flatten these out as much as they can. Now they've already started in an area over here, and I'll show you in a minute. And you know, they're not using any major tools to do it, or there's probably better tools to use that would make it go faster, but we're limited as to what we can use in here. So yeah, I don't know if that's going to include these little paths that I found separately that weren't marked down on the diagram of the garden itself, but the main paths anyway. So we'll see how far we can get with that. There's my shadow. How you doing? And yeah, so let me show you what the flattened portion looks like. So right here you can see a difference in the color of these bricks here, and just to show where I am, I'm like right in front of where the pond is. You can see a different color in these bricks here, and the reasoning for that is this is what the other volunteers have started to do. You can see it throughout. I mean, now we're not, or they, or we, or however you want to say it, we're not going to be able to get these completely flat. But just to make them less bulbous on the root system and less deep on the dips there, just to make it a little more safer for people to walk around, and it looks a little more pretty. You can see going all the way down that they've started on the little side bricks and everything, redoing them, and I think it looks really good. So once again, the process may take a while, and in some areas, such as this, where you can see the brick pattern is different, and it's on a bit of a little like downward slope on both sides of the trail back there that I just went past. It may be a little more difficult to flatten them out, and in an area like this where there's a living tree, it's not like they can go underneath here and you can see where it goes up and down. That's from the root system of this tree more than likely, so they can't really cut these roots, because if they do, that tree could fall and that would cause a lot more damage. So in some areas, the flattening out of the bricks or leveling out of the bricks may be impossible. And then there's some areas that really don't need that done at all. You know, maybe just like a few bricks, like over here, you can see a little dip there in the corner. Right about, I'm trying to get my shadow in it, like I'm pointing to it right there. So maybe, you know, they could just lift a few of those bricks up, put some dirt under it, and kind of level it out. All right, enough talking about the bricks there. So another thing that's planned, possibly planned, I should say, is that the other volunteers would like to try to fill this up with some soil, some nice soil, which there's plenty of it around us that's really good to use. And they want to make this into like a little mini garden. And I think that's a great idea, because it's not like we'll ever be able to have water flowing through here again, because the pipes are in the wall, and we're not going to destroy the wall just for that. As for the reflecting pool, the old reflecting pool in front of it, this is still kind of up in the air as to exactly what we plan to do. Now, I know that I had said in early videos the original idea would have been to get a bunch of light blue colored flowers and grow them in here to simulate water, since at one time this was all water. It was a reflecting pool that used to have koi fish in it, and it was beautiful. I've seen pictures of it. from back when Robert Logan still lived here. And it would be great if we could do that, but still up in the air as to what we're going to put in here. Either way, I mean, once we get more flowers going in here than we had last year, say last year we mostly concentrated on the raised bed or the cold frame, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, and we planted a couple of different flowers out this way, which the columbine should grow back. The hostas are definitely going to be coming back this year, and they're probably going to be coming back with more force than they were in last year. The wisteria has way more seed pods on it this year than it did last year, so that's probably going to be coming back a little bit more lush than it was, because I'm sure it's dropping all those seeds. So we'll see what happens with that. There are some plans of possibly ditching one of these trees back here because it's not doing very well. And if we do that, we've been asked to, using our GoFundMe money, to possibly buy another tree, but they want it to be the same kind of tree, and they're kind of expensive, so we're not sure how we're going to go about that. Maybe we could start another fundraiser for that specifically. That's something that I've yet to talk about with the other volunteers. So if you guys are watching this video, sorry I hadn't mentioned it up till now. It's just an idea that kind of came to me in the last couple days. And I know that they also would like to try to do something with this pond, maybe possibly make it so that it's not water in there, and make this a planter as well. But these are all just kind of what ifs and maybes kind of thing going on right now. The only thing I know for sure that they definitely want to do is the brick paths. And now for the sad news that I mentioned earlier in the video. So part of Sarobia history is now history. The underground dwellings that I had come across, what I thought was the entrances to it, really early on in my videos. You might remember, if you haven't seen them, you can go back and check them out. I stuck my camera down there on a selfie stick, and you could see all the cave crickets, camel crickets, whatever you want to call them. There was like tons and tons of them down there. That has since been demolished. The park staff had come across them. I never ever divulged, sorry, the camera's like moving all over the place here. I have never ever divulged to anyone really the locations of these holes that I found, but the park did come across them, and they deemed them to be too dangerous. Even though they're gone, I'm still not going to divulge the location, and I know there's some of you that know that they're just gone. They brought in like some big powerful equipment. They dug it all out. All the walls are destroyed. Everything is just gone. So there are some pictures floating around online. I'm not exactly sure where to tell you to look for them, but I have seen them pop up here and there on different posts. But it's just a shame. I really wish that it would have been possible to maybe hire a professional out of our fundraising money to get in there, and of course clearing it with the state, of course, because it's a state park, so you have to do that. But it would have been nice if it all came into play to be able to somehow restore at least a little piece of it, and like maybe have somebody give tours, have it closed off somehow, and have somebody give tours of it. However, it just wasn't in the cards, and they had to destroy it for the safety of everyone. I mean, imagine the devastation if some kid fell down there, and you know, the kid's family was here for a picnic at one of the pavilions or something, and then they couldn't find them. I mean, it's just the chance of something like that happening was just too great to risk. So I understand why it was demolished, but it's still sad, you know. I'm sorry that I'll never get to see it and walk the halls of it on my own, but I'm happier to know that people can now be safer coming to the park with their families, and they don't have to worry about things like that happening. So yeah, so part of the history is gone, but we can still keep the history alive in here, in the garden. And there's still one building left back there. There it is, right there. So I mean, at least we have that. You know, that's more than, sorry, I keep looking at myself in the camera. This is a problem I used to have a long time ago, and I'm just not as adept at making videos as I used to be, because they were coming out more rapid fire than they have been. Not that I'm making an excuse for being unprofessional. I'm trying my best. But so yeah, it's sad that that's gone, but we can still revel in the history of this garden. I mean, this garden was very, very special to Robert Logan. He loved this place with a passion like I can't even begin to describe, at least from what I've read and what I understand from the people that knew him. But there's not too many people left that knew him. So one of which is Jack Marr. Jack Marr is an awesome, awesome person. He's a great friend. I haven't really talked to him too much lately, but it wasn't all that long ago the last time he and I talked. He's a veritable database of like knowledge for all things Ben Salem, which for those of you who are watching this that aren't in the area, that's what this area is considered to be, Ben Salem. And he's just a database of knowledge. It's great. I mean, every day he makes posts and it'll say, did you know? And then he'll have like a whole list of facts of different events. Sometimes it'll be a whole long one just about one thing, but you can really learn a lot. So you can find him in the different Ben Salem groups on Facebook or pages, and he does post pretty much every day, and we all love you for it, Jack. Anyway, trying to think of what else I can talk about. I did recently, just a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, I was in Atlantic City, and I took some footage that I was going to include on a video, but I didn't bring my gimbal with me, so it was way too shaky for me to use. But I went over brief history of the Miss America pageant right there in front of Boardwalk Hall. They have a little statue where you could like put your head up under the crown. There's like a statue of a woman, a Miss America person, like, you know, holding out the crown, so you could like put your head in it and be goofy. And I did that. And maybe I'll put a little still picture of that up here right now. But it was definitely a good time. That trip was for my birthday, which was back on February 7th. And it was a birthday gift from my girlfriend. She took me to Atlantic City for the night. We had an awesome time. But yeah, there's some plans in the works. I'm thinking, based off of a conversation I had recently when I was getting my hair cut, I might be going to the historic section over in Bristol, by the river, and checking out that area, because there's that area is like rich in history. So I'm going to want to try to jot down a bunch of different types of information that I can have for all of you to learn some things. And at this point, I just feel like I'm rambling. You know, do you get that feeling? I do. I know you do. Anyway, let me turn this camera back around so you don't have to look at this face anymore. All right, there we go. That's better. So I've done some walking. I've done a lot of talking. And I guess with that, I could just wrap this one up. I mean, this was supposed to be just a short video. I have no idea. Here I am again. I have no idea exactly how long it's going to be. I never know when I take these videos, because I never know what I'm going to delete, what footage is going to be trimmed down, things like that. So anyway, before I start rambling again, let me just say once again that I appreciate each and every one of you for getting me over 800 subscribers. Last time I checked, earlier today, I was at 811, inching my way towards my goal of 1,000 subscribers. And I cannot wait till I reach that goal, because it's been a goal for me for a long time now. Ever since I reached 500, I was just like salivating over the idea of 1,000 subscribers. Like, wow, look at me. Anyway, so all that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I will see you all in the next one, which hopefully will be very soon. Until then, make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and take care.